15 minutes before the game's end, Aguni ordered his men to eliminate everyone who was not part of the military faction. At that moment, Arisu and his friends entered the hall. Arisu proposed that everyone unite to find the witch. Unexpectedly, after these words, Aguni approached Arisu and started beating him. Usagi speculated that Aguni was the witch. She reasoned that if he weren't, he would have no reason to attack a player who was clearly not the witch and had been tied up the entire time. Other players also began to suspect Aguni. In response to the accusations, Aguni did not defend himself and instead declared that he was the witch. The military pointed their weapons at him, but Aguni stepped closer to one of them and demanded that he shoot. Arisu stopped the soldiers and said that Aguni was not the witch. He then added that the person Aguni had eliminated was not Momoka, but the Hatter. Arisu saw it in Aguni's eyes. They were the same as his own when he lost his friends and couldn't forgive himself. Arisu also pointed out that the military had enough weapons to take control of the beach long ago, but Aguni never did. From this, he concluded that Aguni and the Hatter were not enemies, but remained close friends. Together, they restrained people like Suguru to prevent them from getting out of control. This turned out to be true. In a flashback, it is shown that the Hatter and Aguni originally created the beach as a utopia to save people who had fallen into despair after arriving in this world. However, over time, the Hatter became obsessed with collecting cards. When he discovered that some players were hiding them, he began calling them traitors and eliminating them from the game. Aguni realized he could no longer watch his friend turn into a tyrant. That night, after another successfully completed game, the Hatter arranged to meet with Aguni. Aguni admitted to his friend that he was struggling to keep Suguru and the other military members under control, as they wanted to overthrow him. He urged the Hatter to disband the beach, stating that the idea of returning to the real world by collecting cards was just a beautiful lie he had invented. The Hatter turned away and, with pain in his voice, said that sometimes a king must make difficult decisions. He pointed a gun at Aguni. Just as he was about to pull the trigger, Aguni was forced to eliminate his friend first. Back in the present, Arisu stated that Aguni not only eliminated his friend, but now wanted to eliminate all the residents of the beach. The game organizers were exploiting his despair. This was the true essence of the game. Aguni called himself the witch because he wanted to follow his friend into the afterlife. Usagi then asked who the real witch was. Arisu suggested that the witch was Momoka, who had eliminated herself. Aguni dismissed Arisu's words as nonsense and once again claimed that he was the witch. In another flashback, it is revealed that after Aguni eliminated the Hatter, he discovered that his gun had no bullets. The Hatter had never intended to eliminate his friend. He only wanted to scare him. Realizing this devastated Aguni, but by then it was too late. Asahi asked Arisu to throw Momoka's body into the fire to end the game. Then she stepped into the center of the hall and announced to everyone that she was a game mediator. As soon as she said this, a laser beam descended from the sky and Asahi was eliminated from the game. At that moment, Anne entered the hall and revealed that the fingerprints on the dagger confirmed that Momoka had eliminated herself because she no longer wanted to help the organizers. The game masters took advantage of this and turned her act into an entire game. Arisu addressed Aguni, telling him that he understood him better than anyone else and urged him to calm down so that the sacrifices of this day would not be in vain. As time was running out, the players prepared to throw Momoka's body into the fire to complete the game, but suddenly, gunshots rang out in the distance. It turned out that Suguru, though barely able to move, was still in the game. In a fit of madness, he threw a torch into the hall and started shooting chaotically. Usagi skillfully jumped onto his back, and Arisu rushed to help her, but Suguru threw them both off. Just as Suguru aimed his gun at Arisu, Aguni suddenly appeared. He grabbed Suguru and jumped into the fire with him. With only 3 minutes left until the game's end, the players threw the witch's body into the bonfire. Arisu noticed that Asahi's phone had been recording the entire time and took it with him. Soon, everyone received a message announcing the game's completion. It turned out that Hikari had spared the tattooed man and did not eliminate him from the game. The players watched as the beach building was engulfed in flames. Shintaro picked up the 10 of hearts from the table. He now had all the cards except for the Joker. The next day, Arisu watched the video on Asahi's phone. In it, she confessed to being a mediator. If mediators revealed their identity to the players, they would be permanently eliminated from the game. The organizers monitored every action of the players. The video revealed that their base was located beneath a subway station. Arisu and Usagi immediately set out to find the organizers. Upon entering the subway, they saw open doors and discovered that all the staff had been eliminated from the game. Suddenly, Shintaro and Hikari appeared. Arisu asked Shintaro how he found this place. Shintaro replied that he did so thanks to a drawing he had found in the pocket of a masked man wearing a horse mask. It was a subway map. He had studied it for a long time until he realized it was a diagram of the underground system. Shintaro stated that the only thing they could confirm was that the staff who worked here were not the real organizers. There was someone above them. When Usagi asked who it could be, Shintaro speculated that it was either aliens or a programmer who had created this world. At that moment, the lights in the room suddenly turned on, and a message appeared on the screen. Emergency broadcast. A woman named Mira, one of the beach executives, greeted the players and announced that all games with numbered cards were now complete. It was now time for the face card games. She declared that the second stage would begin tomorrow at noon. As the heroes left the subway station, they saw airships with face cards appearing over Tokyo.